Hello and welcome. I'm Shelley. I am instructing English 1023, Composition 2. And this class will focus on research writing, arguments, fun stuff like that. I'm looking forward to working with you. I'm sorry we didn't get to meet face-to-face this week, but so it goes. Here's just a video to kind of introduce you to the course material, to highlight a few things, and I'll do my best to keep it brief so that you can watch this, do the work that needs to be done, and then we can kind of reconvene on Saturday where we'll chat a little bit more in depth. I'm going to look down here a lot at notes that I have just so I don't forget to tell you anything. Overall, there are three things that I really want to highlight in this video, and that is to familiarize yourself with three specific things. The first is discovery. In my last email to you, I sent out a link to the discovery site. If that's new to you, please take some time, make sure that your sign-on works, make sure that you're able to get into the course, that our course, English 1023, does show up on your homepage there. Once you're in Discovery, familiarize yourself with the course itself. There's an introduction session and then 5 sessions after that, and then I believe the summative project has its own page. Look through the course as a whole just so you have a sense of what it is, what's coming, the kind of general flow of the class itself. On the introductory page, there are 2 important items. The first is the class syllabus, and that is a document that you will need to read through thoroughly, become familiar with it, note any questions you have, note the course objectives, the course policies, all of that important information is located there. I've highlighted a little bit of it on the PowerPoint for this week, so you will read through that as well, but it is very important that you read through the syllabus carefully. The second item that is on the course introductory page is the assignments calendar, and that has, if you're visual like me, hopefully a helpful way to lay out everything that's coming up that's due, all of the assignments. All of the essays I've marked in bold, and then you'll see some important things about where we're meeting each week and that kind of thing. I tried my best to keep the course calendar pretty regular. The weekly rhythms are pretty regular. There are a few things that are a little bit off. For instance, I did update it so that this week's assignments, the due dates are consistent with what I emailed you last. The second thing is week 3 is a little bit wonky because we won't be coming to class that week in person. We'll meet online. So again, familiarize yourself with that. Let me know if you have any questions. The only assignments that have really changed from if you had happened to have looked at the calendar earlier this week are the assignments for this week. I have not changed anything in the following week simply because we've got to catch up quickly in order to not kind of lose pace, lose rhythm for the rest of the course. So the first thing is familiarize yourself with Discovery. The second is familiarize yourself with both the syllabus and the course calendar. The third thing is the PowerPoint. I have detailed PowerPoints and lesson plans for each week. My lesson plans are kind of notes to myself throughout the PowerPoint, so please do read through the slides, but then also you can glance below at all of the notes that I have for each slide. Most of them have notes, not all of them do. But this week especially, I have pulled out a few things in the PowerPoint as review from the syllabus, and those will be important to be familiar with. So let me just make sure in my notes here that I'm covering everything I was hoping to have covered. Let's see. Backing up just a little bit. On Discovery, you'll notice that each week has a quiz, has readings, has a discussion. If you've not completed the discussion and quiz for this week, make sure that you do that soon. The readings are important to complete as early as possible so that you can complete the discussion and the quiz, but then also the rhetorical analysis, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Okay, let's see. As you read through each page on Discovery, make sure that you spend a lot of time on sessions 1 and 2, simply so that you're familiar with what's going on this week and what's upcoming that's due. So the syllabus, you'll notice, is designed, is kind of organized with the assignments that are due for each day of class. So for instance, if I look at the syllabus down here, I see for week 1, there are several things that are due, and in red it says to achieve all of these course objectives, complete the following before the beginning of class. So all of the items under week 1 are due right when you come to class on week 1. So this week it'll be important to be familiar with what's due week 1, but then also what's due week 2, because you'll see that the rhetorical analysis essay prompt and all of the information for that is located in week 2, because that is what needs to be completed as you come into class on week 2, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, make a note, ask me that question, and I'll try to explain it a little bit on Saturday when we meet. Okay. Let's see. If you're not able to make it to the session on Saturday, please do send me an email to let me know that you won't be there. And then also, before that session, if you would familiarize yourself with all these things, write down your questions and email them to me so that I can try to answer those questions during our session on Saturday. My goal is to be able to record that video so that you can then go back and watch it so that nobody's left out of that conversation. So please do your best to email me your questions beforehand. I'll try to answer those, and then after our virtual meetup, I'll send you a link with the video recording of that. So stay tuned. Okay. The third thing, this week's PowerPoint, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail. I do expect that you'll read through it thoroughly because we're not in class to kind of work through that. It is important for you to read through that PowerPoint from beginning to end. There's a few slides in particular that I want to highlight, and not the most important, but for the rhetorical analysis, the most important slide will be slide number 24. That is meant to help you as a guide for the rhetorical analysis, and initially I wanted to go through one of the controversy readings in class so that we could kind of break that down, analyze it, and then move toward an evaluation of the argument, the author's argument. But I'd like to do that a little bit during our session on Saturday. But it will be helpful for you to kind of read through that beforehand so that you're familiar with the way that we're going to be analyzing the sample essay. And then that will help you as you create your own rhetorical analysis so that you're not just kind of blindly going into it thinking, oh my goodness, how do I structure this? For the rhetorical analysis, returning to everything's an argument will also be incredibly helpful. Chapter 1 is kind of an overview, and I found myself returning to that one quite frequently, but then also pages 114 to 119 kind of give you a guide as well for writing a rhetorical analysis essay. And so I would strongly recommend going back to those two places if you're struggling with kind of where to begin with the rhetorical analysis essay. Okay, let's see. The other thing I want to note is the rhetorical analysis is due when we come to class on Tuesday. The instructions for that, again, are under week 2 of the syllabus. There is also a place on Discovery to submit the rhetorical analysis, and that is turn it in, and you'll find that again on week 2, the session 2 page on Discovery. Also located there is the rubric for the rhetorical analysis so that you know exactly what we're looking for when we go to grade each of these essays. So again, if you have trouble locating those, or if you have questions about either the rubric or how to use Turnitin or anything like that, we'll address those on Saturday. But just please do make a note of all your questions so that we can hopefully make that Saturday time as helpful to you as possible. Okay, I think, yeah, that's about it. One final note. On the PowerPoint, you'll notice there's a few in-class activities that I was hoping to do. Don't worry about doing those. Really just read through it, make sure you're familiar with the content, and then we'll go from there. I really look forward to meeting you face-to-face next week. I'm sorry this is a bit of a jump start in everything. It's a little bit strange with the weather, but it's supposed to snow again, I guess, on Friday and Saturday, so tomorrow and Saturday. So I hope you stay warm and dry and safe, and I'll look forward to meeting you soon. All right, take care. Bye-bye.